Hello, everyone. This is Dave from No Way Out Radio. I wanted to talk tonight a little bit of why is God or would God target the Bible Belt? But first, let's see how God works. We know that God punishes the wicked. That's just what God does. God proves His authority and His might in His own way. What you see on the screen before you is Hong Kong, China. On the East Coast, it was Saturday night, somewhere around 10, 11 o'clock Saturday night when I taped this, and but it was Sunday morning, Hong Kong time. What you're seeing there, as you see here, this is a Cat 5 hurricane, or as they call their typhoon. What you see here on the lower part of the screen, this is a northern island of the Philippines, and this is Taiwan. This hurricane came right up across here, and with our American media being, well, our American propaganda, this, we're not getting, I can't find many reports of how bad it is there right now. Today it's Monday evening, about 10:30 Eastern Time on September 17th. Now, I'm going to play this. This is Hong Kong. These are the surrounding. In here, there's many large municipalities and cities. This is 165 miles an hour. Mile an hour winds and heavy pounding rain. And she's coming right ashore, right through about 15, 20, maybe even 30 million. It's hard to tell information in China. But this is southern. Now, what I'm showing you here, why I move this, if you watch the lower part of your screen there, and you watch that screen, now you watch the lower section of that circle when it clears up. Now there's your hurricane or typhoon. But you look at all of that tail. Ladies and gentlemen, that is pulling energy from as much as 1,000 miles away and wrapping it right into a system right there that is slamming into Hong Kong and surrounding areas. Now, one thing we have to look at here is why would this be going on here in China? Well, for the past 2 months, what our American propaganda has not been telling the people, um, about 2 months ago, China really started a crackdown on the Christian church. Today, what they are engaged in is they are tearing down churches. They are tearing down crosses above churches that are on the tops and everything and burning the crosses. They are destroying anything that shows a symbol of Christianity is above the emperor of China. Now, the members within these churches are being told, as only the Chinese government can, and we know what that leads to, but you must sign this document that the supreme leader of China is your supreme leader. There is no God above your leader. So why wouldn't God send a nice Cat 5 hurricane, typhoon, cyclone, whatever it is you want to call it, on that side of the earth, right into, I don't know, what, 15, 20, 30 million people? With 165-mile-an-hour winds and pounding rains crashing right into Hong Kong. So think of that, ladies and gentlemen. Hong Kong. And as you can see, it's probably hard for you to see, but in this here, it's moved. But this is Hong Kong area. It's all in this area right in here. And so that's just China. So you see how China has attacked God, and God has shown his power. Now here it is Monday, and we do have many, many problems in the Carolinas today. Why would God go after the Bible Belt? Well, for the past couple months on my podcast, I've been showing you and bringing out clips of different preachers and Jezebels within the pulpit, screaming, yelling, hollering. This one lady, she's screaming, yelling, hopping around. She's done this for an hour. Another one is actually God told her to start a church, and now she's screaming, yelling, and telling fables, falsehoods, and wives' tales from the pulpit. She tells her people that God created the pyramids. They're so beautiful. God did that. God put that in man. So man built the pyramids. Does she know that the pyramids were built onto an Egyptian god? So why would God, or excuse me, an Egyptian king? So why would God put it in man to build an idol unto an Egyptian king? When he's God, he's the king of it all. He's the creator of it all. And we have these, flamboyant pastors that are now, the people sit down and all they see is a tent on the pulpit. Out pops the pastor. He carries on for the next, his sermon is all about his friend's stinky feet. And they put the tent on a fire ant nest. And because it was a fire ant nest, they're spending the night in a vehicle, sleeping in the seats of a vehicle with his friend's stinky feet. What's this have to do with the Bible? We see the Southern Baptist Conference today being overrun by big feeling, what I call, yes, Jezebels. God shall put the Jezebel and call herself a prophetess. And they are now promoting women taking over the churches in the Southern Baptist Conference, even though there's numerous scripture against it. But now it's happening, and it's become the norm. And because of our media propaganda, we get some of the most comical stuff there is to deal with. So we see here now, we have the Weather Channel. The Weather Channel was founded and it came forth, and I remember when the Weather Channel first came on a cable channel, and we got weather, and we got true weather. Now we get a bunch of falsehoods. Why did the Weather Channel fall apart so bad? Well, in 2008, they sold out to NBC Universal. So now NBC, well, we know that they are the part of the deep state cabal. They are part of the Agenda 21 and globalism, and it's just NBC is no good because while they are owned by GE, that manufactures their junk in China. Now, the Weather Channel lost its luster. Everybody left them. DirecTV, now owned by AT&T, dumped the only good Weather Nation. Yes, the only good weather channel, Weather Nation. Why I say Weather Nation is because from NBC Universal, well, we get theater. And what do I mean by theater? Well, let's just take a look at what the Weather Nation, the Weather Channel gives us for theater. As you see here, the source, the Weather Channel, and he can hardly stand up, the poor guy. Oh, what's this in the background? We've all seen this. We've seen this joke. We've seen this fake news. We saw this. This is such a game. It's theater. They are so used to lying to the people, they can't even report on the weather and do it without theater and baffling the people. So why would God, you say, well, why would God care about this? Why? A third of America couldn't care less about anything, church or anything. Another third, well, they know it's fake, but they're not speaking out, they're not doing anything, and they're sitting in the churches. And they're keeping their mouth shut. Thirdly, look at it. Excuse me, it's fake. A third of the American people believe this. And why they believe this is because the Weather Channel, through NBC Universal, puts out a statement of, well, poor little Mikey here couldn't stand because it was grass and mud. But ladies and gentlemen, if you back it up back here a little bit, what do you see? What do you see at the start of this? Let's start playing it again. What do you see here? Why is he standing on the grass when, oops, the road's right here? If he can't keep his footing up here, wouldn't you just take a couple steps to the side and here on the, because you see they're not having a problem, but he is. And there's your theater. And our churches are playing into this theater. Our churches are watering down. They have screaming people on the stage. They have pastors camping out. And they have other pastors demanding, listen to me. Well, just like the Weather Channel, you have to listen to us. This is why I was very ticked off when I couldn't believe AT&T, DirecTV dumped Weather Nation to keep the Weather Channel. But you want to see how Weather Nation has reported on the flooding, what has happened, what is going on with Hurricane Florence that has come in and in areas dumped 50 inches of rain or 30 inches of rain and is just continuing in a large area, 2 states, because the Bible Belt has turned away from the Bible. We also had heard that Pat Roberts puts out about 12 hours or so, or a day or so before Florence came ashore. We have Pat Roberts out there. He's rebuking the storm. You shall do no damage here in the name of out to sea with you. So Pat Roberts thought he was more powerful than God. He was so godly, and God loved him so much he could rebuke this storm. And what did God show Pat Roberts? 72 hours of pounding rain, inches upon, well, in some places feet. And now all of these feet of rain has to run all the way down into areas that are underwater right now from the storm, and all this water from above is now all got to flow down there to the same area that's already underwater. And again, you may ask, but in a minute, I'll show you. Tell you what. This is what else we get. In this right here, ladies and gentlemen, the man standing on his knees, or he's kneeling on his knees. This is the sidewalk. You can see these are pebbles and rocks, and the cameraman's trying not to stay there, but watch what happens here. And I'm going to play this, and at the end, have a good laugh at how, but But this is America now. They don't turn away from it. It becomes a source to mock. But the Bible tells us, set not where the mockers are. But let's just watch. Oops. I guess the water's not that deep now, is it? But there he is on his knees. These are his feet, ladies and gentlemen. Look, those are his feet. See him moving them? Look, and this guy's walking right across. He looks right over and says, why is this guy down on his knees? So here we go.
I can't stand it!
So you see, they're mocking him. And it is too bad, ladies and gentlemen, that that's what America has come to. So, but now when we look at how do you report on something like this? Sure, you may say this is just a still photo. Well, let's scroll down and see Weather Nation's reporting on flooding and storm damage and what's happening. Let's see how a real weather station reports the weather to you. Now, mostly only found online at weathernation.com. weathernationtv.com. Okay, you can't deny this is not fake. You can see the person's window. You can see the water. That's a person's house. And the water's right up to the windows, ladies and gentlemen, on the first floor. Let's come down here. Oh, gee, can we see the flooding? And this is flooding. This is how you report on flooding, ladies and gentlemen. You don't go out there and act like you can't stand up. Theater from NBC Universal through the Weather Channel. You don't go out there, a Fox News affiliate, and their reporter's down on his knees, acting like he's standing in knee-deep water. See? It is washed out. People are walking through the water. You can see. And see, it's washed out. It's truth. Here's truth. Here is truth. See? So now you come down here and they're telling you, look, here's the emergencies. Heed warning, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have people out giving theater and fake news and weather reporting. We're getting real weather. But this ain't on cable anymore. We're losing it. They're taking it away because it doesn't play into their fake narrative of global warming that the Weather Channel pushes. See? Here's flooding. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I wanted to find and see. This tells me this is God's power. This is God reminding the Bible Belt who is in charge. Gloria Copeland is not in charge. Pat Roberts is not in charge. The Southern Baptist Conference will only lead you to devastation. God warned them. See here, the National Guard, see truth. See, this is what you need to see. Well, not the guy kind of almost slipping, but too bad. But, you know, he's all right. That's good, I should say. But see, there's real video. And you have your light crews. They're working, and you see, there's nothing fake. And see, you get realness, ladies and gentlemen, not fakeness. Because after all this was done, what else is God seeing coming out of the Bible Belt? God sadly has to see this. These are people, this is a housing complex across the road, or Section 8. This is your low-income housing. But look, do you know that just down the road is a church giving away supplies? But what are these people doing? They just walk out of their housing project and they walk across the road and, well, here, let's just empty a Family Dollar. There's something wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen. I remember back in the day when I was growing up and I was in the area and I was in my 20s to the 30s, I would have been wanting to go over there and try to close the door when it stopped. Try to protect anything else. But no, right here it's just open season. And of course, this, just me showing this, some people may see it and call it racist. Why? Is it my fault that blacks were caught leaving the housing projects, going across and looting? Just, let's just empty what the storm didn't destroy. We're just going to walk out with everything else. Just because they can. So why would God go into this area? Well, you know what you're seeing right here, ladies and gentlemen? This is the precursor of what is to come. This is the great tribulations. Think of the owners of that store. The employees are now out of a job. The store owners are going to have to, well, to me, if I was an insurance company, I would not pay any claim until these people were brought to justice and went through that housing complex across the street, that Section 8 low-income welfare housing across the street that, well, they seem to have popped up everywhere. This is what we're getting, ladies and gentlemen, in our Bible Belt. This is Wilmington, North Carolina. So who's the victim here? The people from the welfare housing across the street? Or the innocent store owner that because of a hurricane and people's complete lack of morals, principles, values, respect, you don't have respect for yourself if this is how you don't care that the people driving by are seeing you, knowing nobody's going to say nothing. But a church just down the road is giving away supplies for free. Why would I go down to that church? That is doing what a church should be doing and helping people in this time of need as they are doing. But what are these people doing? No, I'm going to rip off this guy instead. This is sad, ladies and gentlemen. This is sad. So to me, this is why God sent Hurricane Florence right into the Carolinas, and he parked it there for about 72 hours just to show and listen. Think of Jesus listening to all his saints, having hope for the area. Look at these saints. They're all praying for other people. They're all praying for their own safety, but the safety of all others that are trapped, all others that are now without power. Look at all of my saints. Maybe someday they can take back the church. They can take back the message, my gospel, because if not, what's God looking at, ladies and gentlemen? He is ashamed of his children. As in the time of Noah, you are told and asked to repent, and they repented not. They will be common thieves and call me a racist because I pointed out just because they're black. It's too bad that this video shows that. I would have loved to found a video of white people doing the same thing. But when you go to Ferguson, it's black people claiming they're victims. What's happened? Why is there such a racial divide? Because man is destroying us. Man is destroying. And what does God say will happen? So ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I just wanted to bring these little messages of Why would God go after the Bible Belt? And now we see why God would go after the Bible Belt. Because, well, the Bible Belt has left the Bible. And if God does not shorten these days, no flesh will remain. There'll be no flesh worthy of God if he does not shorten these days. So be safe out there, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, in these times, pray for those that truly need the help. Pray for those that are trapped in here and that are in bad situations, that God sees them through. And God protects them. And they know in their heart that God is there with them. Pray for their safety. Pray for the owners of this store that's being looted. And the problem is how many others are being looted that is not being caught on camera and being swept under the rug. Because, well, it'll be federal funding. There'll be all kinds of FEMA money and other things. So pray for one another, ladies and gentlemen. Make it right with God. Because time is short. And these disasters prove it. So until next time, this is No Way Out.